What up, masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery, episode 190. My friends, today we have Mrs. Laura Moreno with us, and she is really cool. She works with buyers, and she also has a great podcast on first-time buyers. And, you know, she really does specialize in helping first-time buyers. So she shares some of her really cool insights today. I'm also excited to have her on our meetup this month with my good friend and absolute rock star, Realtor James Black. Mr. Black closes over 250 houses a year, and he's a really cool guy. So with him and Laura, it's going to be amazing. So as a matter of fact, what I would encourage you to do right now is stop this and go to davidsmeetup.com and get signed up. Right now, I think we're about 60 registrations, and we're pretty far out, which is awesome. So listen, here's what I would say. Show up. Don't just sign up, but sign up and show up. Last month we had a lot of people signed up, but not all of them showed up, so you missed out, and I don't want you to miss out again. This is going to be awesome. So get signed up for davidsmeetup.com. Go to the site real quick. Check out our sponsors, Vulcan 7, for your expired physical needs. So davidihill.com/Vulcan 7. My friends, enjoy this episode, and I look forward to connecting with you really soon, and I will hope to see you on the meetup. Hey, Masters, welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery. Today we're with Mrs. Laura Moreno.
That's perfect.
Okay, good. I'm glad I got it. All right, awesome. And you are the founder of Home Flow, which is a company that works, or you work with making the home buyer experience awesome, right? It's like the best experience possible. And we had the pleasure also yesterday of speaking, and I was on your podcast, so I appreciate that. You'd think I'd be better at saying your name by now. But a little bit about you, and then we'll jump right into it, because I know we don't have a ton of time today, so I want to be really succinct and get some great information out there for our listeners. So you are the founder of Home Flow, a company focused on making the experience awesome. I already said that. You're also the host of the First Time Homebuyer Podcast. So go check out the First Time Homebuyer Podcast, everybody. And also an experienced product manager and growth hacker. What's a growth hacker?
It's someone that takes a really cool product and makes it grow virally for free.
Really? For free? Okay, well, you and I have to talk about that then, because that's something I need help with. All right, awesome. So let's talk about buyers, man. It's a crazy market out there, right now. So first-time buyers, what's do they have a chance? Like, what are you telling first-time buyers right now?
Wow, it's a crazy market now with Corona, because first-time home buyers are putting offers and they're getting rejected left and right, and they're getting very discouraged. But going back in time to where I started Home Flow, my company is, I was a home buyer 2 years ago, a first-time home buyer 2 years ago, and the process was hard. I knew, I live in New York. I thought it was going to be easier. I thought it was going to be seamless, awesome. Like, you've already saved so much money. You've done so much homework. You're in the right place. So everything should be pretty seamless. And the experience is not the same. The experience is pretty bad. It's the most stressful situation in your life. It's the most expensive one. And you work with most professionals have unaligned incentives to yours, So you have to be kind of an expert of home buying your home when you're just a first-time home buyer. And that's hard.
So let's talk about that then, because I mean, it definitely is a stressful experience in many cases. And then I'm guessing with inventory so low, everything else happening, COVID, I'm guessing it's become even more stressful. Is that true? And how do you navigate those waters with buyers?
It depends on the location. So it is very hard to be a first-time home buyer in Central America now, or in places where demand is high, because there's a lot of people looking to buy homes from New York, from San Francisco, looking to move from big cities to smaller towns. And there's not enough houses in the market. People are just not putting their houses in the market. They are like, COVID is here, keep it safe. We are not doing anything. So there's like that whole structure where there's not enough houses in the market and there's tons of home buyers. So what happens is when there's one house in the market, there's going to be 10, 15, 20 offers. And why would they choose you? And on that case, first-time home buyers most likely will lose because they are not cash buyers. They don't have so much money to buy that first home. So usually those houses go to investors because they can pay cash, or they go to people that can increase their offers, offer $20,000, $30,000 more for that house. And that's what they're facing now.
Yeah. So how do you help in that situation? So you have a first-time buyer, they love the home. They know there's going to be 20 offers, they're 3% down or 5% down. What do you tell them? What do you do in that situation?
Appeal to their emotions. That's the only kind of the key that you can do as a first-time home buyer is you are in an advantage. You are motivated because a noble interest, you want to raise your family, you want to build a home, you don't want to tear down the house and make it new, so appeal to the emotions of the home seller. That get to know that home seller, get to know their intentions. Are they moving because they are retiring to Florida? Are they moving because they just need to downgrade their house, downsize their house? So get to know why those people are selling the house, and then write a letter, or even better, record a video telling them who you are.
Oh, I like the video, yeah.
Why you like that home. Why do you think it would be great for your family? Why you admire so much their decoration, the great investment they made. And then talk about you. We are a family of 3. We love this area. We love the schools. My best friend is down the road. We're going to take so much care of your house. This is perfect for us. And then some home sellers, I'm not going to say all of them, but some home sellers.
Emotional, yeah.
May be attached to that.
Yeah.
And if the seller is a nurse and you're a nurse, appeal to that,
Sure.
Some home sellers, even if your offer is not the most attractive offer to them, based on the numbers, they may go towards that path because they have an emotional connection to you.
Yeah, I've seen that happen many times in the past. So I like what you said about the video. Honestly, believe it or not, I don't know why. Like when you said that, it's like that's like a duh moment, right? Like, okay, yeah, that makes tons of sense. But it's the first time I've heard it. That's great. So you're doing. So when you say get to know the seller, you're doing that through the listing agent, or how does somebody get to know the seller? So for people listening to this, how do you do that?
You have to have a great real estate agent. Basically, you cannot really knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm this, I'm that," because that's not what you're supposed to do. You always have to go through your buyer's agent. So what I will do is hire a very experienced and very well-known buyer's agent in that area. So what happens with experienced agents is that they know the other agents, and they will know the listing agent, and they will tell the listing agent, well, tell me more about the sellers. Tell me as much as you can about the seller. And with that, obviously they will not be able to disclose some things like why they are selling, or they have to follow some rules. But the more information they give you about that seller, the more information you have to craft that offer and to craft that letter. Yeah,
I love that. So how do you approach that? So let's say, if you don't mind, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. You role play with me. I'm the listing agent. You have an offer from you have somebody interested. How would you approach me?
Hey, what's up? We just talk on the phone. As we've done deals before. How's everything doing? How's your wife? All that.
Great. Yeah, things are good. Good.
Then I'll say, listen, I have this family. They're just so in love with this place. They're so in love. Like, what is it that they can do to get that house? Like, they have this limited. What is it? Like, what do we need to know? Tell me as much as you can, so that we can create a great offer for that family. And try to appeal to those emotions. Try to bring the case. Try to make the story about your buyers. And then.
So what if you have an agent that you don't really know them? They're just like, yep, it's price. They're looking for the most money. So, offers are due 5:00 on Monday. because you get that, right? There's a lot of unemotional just agents that just like, yep, I know because I work a lot of listings, and sometimes, you're getting 30, 40, 50, 60 agents inquiring, you're getting 20, you just, at some point you're like, okay, this is getting exhausting, right? Like, so.
I mean, there's many ways you can do, many things you can do that, that could get to a little bit closer to knowing that seller. You may find out who's the seller, if possible, and go to their social media or go to their profiles and see what's going on with their life. Why, don't stalk them. Don't talk to them in the street. Don't call them, but try to find out information about them, about their family, and then craft that letter in a way that is attractive to them.
Yeah. Recently, one of the people on our team, I don't know if he was a first-time buyer. I don't think they were first-time buyers, but they actually left a what's it called? Like a basket on the counter with like chocolates and cookies and coffee and all kinds of really nice. And they said, "We love your house, and please don't take this the wrong way, but it would be amazing to live here." And they got the offer by leaving a gift basket, right? So I mean, it's the creative, get outside of the box stuff that's
and
working.
If you are a home buyer out listening to this, don't leave everything to your agent. Your agent is not supposed to think so much about those things. Your agent has many other responsibilities, but be creative yourself. Like, think, what would you like? Come up with those ideas and do it. Talk to your agent, but then do it. Why not? That's a great detail. It's like, this is the house that we want. We just want it, need it, and we're not going to stop until we get it. And we're going to, I don't know if you say it in English, but butter you up with chocolates and coffees.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I know it can become really frustrating for buyers, especially when, maybe they've lost 2, 3 more off, houses because they're in bidding wars. What do you say to that? How do you deal with that? Like, how do you keep them mentally in the
motivated?
game?
That's hard, but I really like something that someone told me yesterday. It may be you, but it's something like, if that's not the house, maybe that was not the house you were meant to be in, and something better will come up. And the other thing that I will say is, even though agents, we want to sell and we want to make the deals go through and all that, you may need to wait. This is a hot market now. You maybe need to wait until it's a better market for you. I don't know if it was Warren Buffett or someone said, like, sell when everyone is buying and buy when everyone is selling. Maybe you can wait a year and buy when everyone is selling. So
I agree.
I think there's a lot of emergency and there's a lot of scarcity and I need this now, but
Masters, I'm going to get you right back to the show. Don't forget to sign up for this month's meetup. Go to davidsmeetup.com. Get registered right away. Hey, we're also thinking about our November 35 call challenge. The October was phenomenal. So if you're a realtor, you're listening to this, we're going to be focusing on expireds in November. So go to 35callchallenge.com. Get registered now, and we'll get you all the details for November. My friends, enjoy the rest of the show. Get signed up for the meetup. I will see you soon. You rock.
Calm down for a second. This may not be the right moment for you. Calm down. The market's going to still go down. Maybe the markets will be a little bit up, maybe, but maybe they will go down again. Calm down and think about your own health and question it. Should I buy now or should I wait?
Yeah, I can tell you, from somebody taught me that when I first started in real estate, they just kind of shared with me a story, how they were with a buyer and the buyer kept missing out on properties and they were just about to give up. And then they found the perfect property that could not have been more of what they're looking for than anything. And it just made all the other houses look pitiful. Like if they would have found out after that they saw this property, they would have been disappointed that they bought another one. And then, so I shared that story, but then it started happening in my business too. Like I'd share that with people and say, don't worry, I'm telling you, something better is going to come up. And then what ends up happening is you start to experience that. And it happened myself, my wife. Hopefully my wife will be on your podcast because she's an amazing buyer's agent. Same thing just happened with us. We were buying and we were looking in April, May during COVID. There was nothing on the market. The things that came on, it was so, we're real estate agents and we're starting to get a little frustrated. And I just kept saying it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. And then we found a perfect house. It's like, it couldn't have been better. Off market deal. The person didn't want to deal with COVID. We got a great price. We tied it up. It would have probably sold for $50,000 more in July. I mean, it just worked out so amazing. But if we would have bought one of those other houses, we were compromising. I really think we were compromising. We just wanted to get in something. So do you see that happen a lot? Like maybe someone's buying the wrong thing just because they're in that environment?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're overpaying for those things. And, you just have to calm down and look at the numbers and use your agent. You're the home buyer. You're going to have emotions. That's normal. But have a great agent that can set your feet in the floor and be like, hey, guys, don't do it. Calm down. This is not going in the right direction. You're not following your own guidelines. Take it easy. And you mentioned there's something really important about off-market houses. I had someone in the podcast the other day that said, in this moment with this situation, locate off-market houses. Find those houses. And how he was doing that is send a letter. If you want to live in a specific neighborhood, send a personal letter about your family to all the houses in that neighborhood and appeal to their emotions and say, we're looking to buy in this area. If you know anything that could be for sale, let us know. So if you still want to buy in this crazy situation, be a little bit more creative and try to locate those off-market houses.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Another way to do that is for sale by owners, expireds, people who had homes in the market that didn't sell. You can call the sellers, call the past agents even and say, hey, is your seller still open to selling? So let me ask you this. So I asked you one of the biggest challenges we can help with our listeners. You said the hurdle of buying your first home and how to get started. So let's kind of go a little bit backwards, but how does somebody overcome that hurdle? Like, what does that mean?
So when I was looking to buy something here in America 3 years ago, I had no idea how to do it, but I really wanted to do it. One of the best things that I did was getting in touch with someone that had done it before many times. And he was not an agent. He was just someone that had done it before many, many times. So I could bounce ideas back and forth. How should I go? So find someone that has done it before and kind of like ask questions to that person. And that could be your parents. That could be someone that doesn't really have I wouldn't say, yes, it would be nice to be a real estate agent. But at the beginning, when you're just thinking about it, just get someone closer to you that doesn't have any interest. Because obviously real estate agents, we may want to sell you that property. So I don't know, just find someone that is unbiased. And then the second thing is find trustworthy resources like the First Time Homebuyer Podcast, or like we're putting together a really good home buying checklist, like 30, 40 steps on how you really need to buy your home. So really get educated on the process. Those are the two things that I would say. Find a mentor and then get super educated in the process.
And how much time should someone spend on that? Like when should someone start the process? Like, I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but the average seller starts, when a seller's ready, they just like, okay, I'm going. Buyers, do they start a lot, sooner? Like when would you say is the right time?
At least 6 months before. At least
6 months. Okay.
Because to find a house usually takes like 3 months or 2-3 months. And then to close on a house maybe takes another 2-3 months. So at least 6 months. So if your rent is expiring in 2 months, you missed out.
Yeah.
So plan for 6 months.
Yeah. Well, once you get out there now, I mean, if you want to buy a house and your offer gets accepted, you better be ready to close in 45 days or maybe max 60 days, right?
Yeah. And in New York, if you're buying into a co-op, you need to add another month because those extra interviews and all the things you have to go through. So at least in New York is minimum 6 months. Okay.
So why did you write a book? I always ask what's a question you want me to make sure I ask. So why did you write a book about gratitude?
Thank you for asking that. I wrote a book about gratitude 5 years ago because I had to pay the universe back, basically. I went through a pretty bad depression maybe 10-15 years ago after a breakup. And, it was a really dark time and I really didn't want to do anything. I was really depressed. And then I read somewhere to practice gratitude every morning. Go for a walk and be thankful for the flowers, for the trees, and it got me out of it. And then as a payback, 2, 3, 5 years later, I decided to write a book about gratitude. It's called The Gratitude Revolution. It's in Amazon, but it's just a nice little book about all the things that you can be grateful for and all the benefits that you will get. And your life will just immensely improve. So just be grateful.
Awesome. Well, I love gratitude. I start my day with gratitude. I'm every day on my knees as well. So what would you say are maybe the two or three biggest mistakes you see buyers are making when they go into this?
They have the wrong budget. So the lender maybe tells them, oh, you can afford up to 250. And they go to 250 while they should have gone for 200. So they have the wrong budget because lenders don't really take into account other expenses that you have. Like if you have a child, daycare, or if you like to eat out, they don't really take into account those expenses. So they tend to become house poor, which means they own a property, but they cannot really enjoy going out. So that's number one mistake. And the second mistake is not getting the best team, like not really having the best realtor or the best lender or the best inspector. That's the number two mistake. And in order to get those professionals right, you need to do a little bit of research and you need to interview 2, 3 of them. So they don't really spend enough time interviewing and hiring the right professionals.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right professionals, then the whole home buying process becomes a nightmare and you have a really bad experience.
Yeah. If you even get to the finish line, right? I mean, I don't know how many times, you're working with someone. It's like, oh, my uncle's an attorney and I'm going to have him do as soon as I hear that, I'm like, no. Or they come with some lender that they found on the internet and like, nope, you need to use Fairway. That's our guy. This guy's been doing this for as long as I have. He's legit, so, but
it's important to let know buyers that you're not getting anything from that referral.
That's a good point. Great point.
Every time someone tells me that, it's like, ooh, what are you getting? What are you getting? Wait a second. I get my defenses up.
That's a great point.
It's important to let them know. It's like, by law, I cannot get anything from this person, Yeah,
that's a brilliant point. You're right. You have to let them know that. And in fact, what I get is I get you get to get your home and I get to, be compensated at the end of that is what I get. And you get to have a better experience. That's what I get. And I get referrals. Right. So, that's awesome. All right. Well, let me ask you this. Well, hey, we do a meetup. If you're around, we do a meetup. November 12th is our next one, 4 p.m. We got about 50 to 75 realtors on there. Love to have you come on as a guest. You can talk a little bit about your podcast if you can make it. It's the 12th, November 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Sounds great.
I don't want to put you on the spot. If you can make it, great.
I would love to be there.
Awesome. Well, then go to davidsmeetup.com and just sign up. And that's all you need to do. Shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll make sure I find you and I'll let you talk a little bit about your podcast and what you're up to. Because I think it's a great topic, great conversation, especially in this time to be sharing with our realtors. And my main speaker this month is James Black, awesome realtor. He closes about 250 transactions a year. He has a buyer's agent on his team. He only works with buyers. I think he's broken 80 transactions this year, just working with buyers.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah, it's awesome. So anyway, anything I missed? Any other questions that I should have asked you that I didn't ask?
No, this is perfect. I mean, no.
Right,
Bring it on. What can I do for you?
Well, hey, just show up to the meetup, be awesome, and that's it. Well, I'm happy you did this. I think it's a great topic at a great time. How do people get in touch with you?
Oh, you can email me at laura@tryhomeflow.com, or in my Instagram, which is Laura Moreno -realtor, and you can find me there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, I just want to thank you. And this is the final thing, for people listening to this, what should they walk away with? If there's one thing you want to make sure they walk away with from this talk today, what do you want that to be? That
will be educate yourself. Before buying a home, make the homework, educate yourself, because that's going to make it much easier and less stressful for you, and you will end up with a better home for cheaper.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Masters, 45 seconds. That's all I ask. I appreciate you listening to the show. I don't know if I say that enough, but I know you can invest your time wherever you choose. So thank you for spending it here with us. Remember, if you want any information on me or my events coming up, just go to my website, which is davidihill.com. Again, davidihill.com. Click on the events tab. You've got webinars, you've got past webinar replays. Everything is there. You can also get access to our sponsors there if you click on the affiliates link. So again, everything is at davidihill.com, and we'd love to have you join us on our Facebook community, which just go to Facebook and search groups, which is Path to Mastery. And finally, as you know, you can get yourself a free book by going to davidsfreebook.com. My friends, again, I just want to say I appreciate you spending time with us. Oh my gosh, I forgot to review. If you would, it helps so much if you'd be willing to go give me a review, and then email a review to me at david@davidihill.com. Email it to me. I'll read it on air for you. And I just want to say I appreciate you again for listening to the show. You rock. Enjoy the rest of your day.